Mindset, a daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markle. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markle.
Hello, welcome back. Thank you once again for joining me for Morning Mindset as we progress forward. Today we're going to talk about the moral equivalent trap, and you should be aware of that. You say, moral equivalent? What's this guy talking about? What's he trying to throw down on me there? All right, how many of you are parents? You have children, you have small children, maybe you have siblings. You have a little boy and a little girl, or two little boys, or two little girls, or three, or whatever. And you catch one of your children doing something they shouldn't be doing. Let's say you are a good mom, and you have cookies in the house, but you told your children you are not allowed to eat any cookies until after we have had dinner. After you eat your dinner, then you can have a cookie. But you turn your back, and you go out of the room, and your small child decides that they're going to sneak in because they think they can get away with stuff, and they're not smart enough to know that they can't fool mom yet. So you catch them in the act. You catch your 5-year-old or your 6-year-old in the act of stealing a cookie. And you say, "What did I tell you? No cookies before dinner." And the first thing out of their mouth is not, "Oops, I was wrong," or "I'm sorry." It was, "Well, Jimmy took a cookie yesterday." Or Susie took a cookie yesterday, or whatever. Now, that's obviously oversimplistic or very simplistic, but the fact is what that child is doing is they're trying to deflect their bad behavior or the fact that they're wrong by drawing a moral equivalent. Like, well, I mean, yeah, I did that, but, this person did the same thing. And you say, yeah, that's because children are childish, and that's what children do. But sadly, as of late, I've been encountered all the time, but recently I saw a couple examples of this, and I felt that I needed to address the moral equivalent trap. Now, you remember before, during a recent episode, we talked about the fact that excuses are not reasons, right? We have reasons for why things happened, and then we have excuses. A reason, a genuine, legit reason for you not being at work on time is that, a car crashed into another car right in front of you on the 405 or the 101 or the 202 or whatever, and the road was blocked and you were stuck. There was nothing you could do about it. That is the reason you were late. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. Now, the excuse for you being late is, I was up late last night, I was having a good time, I was partying, I hit the snooze alarm 5 times, and I didn't make it to work on time. That's not really a reason. It's an excuse. And excuses and reasons are not the same, right? Well, often when people are caught or they are faced with some type of a hard reality, they're faced with having to deal with their own shortcoming or their own failure, rather than accept the fact that you're like, yep, I did not do what I was supposed to do. I did not achieve what I was supposed to achieve. I fell short of my goal. Instead, what they will do is they'll draw a moral equivalent. And they will try and say, well, yeah, I didn't, but this other person. How many times have you encountered that in your own life? Have you ever fallen trap to the moral equivalent excuse? Well, yeah, it may be, but, like being late for work. You're late for work, and your boss or your supervisor or whatever calls you out on it. And they say, hey, that's the 3rd time this month. What's going on? And you say, well, Jim was late last month too, or he was late last week, or he doesn't always come in on time. So that somehow makes your being late and your being tardy okay. Now, when we look at it from an analytical aspect like we are now, it seems really childish and immature, doesn't it? but we still encounter this continuously. Well, rather than admit, mea culpa, my bad, whatever, I will strive to not let this happen in the future, we default to this moral equivalent trap. Or it's okay for me to take this. Another moral equivalent is, it's okay for me to take stuff from work because I don't feel like I'm being compensated properly. I asked for a raise last month and they said no. So I'm going to take blank home from work. And the excuse is, or the moral equivalency is, well, they should have given me a raise and it was not fair that they didn't. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this stuff. It's all bull crap. You know it and I know it. It's childish and it's juvenile. And yet we encounter it constantly, don't we? So what I'm going to say to you is beware of, if you want to have a positive and productive life, one of the most positive and productive things you can do is when you make a mistake, when you fall short of your goal, is instead of trying to come up with an excuse or a moral equivalency, what you do instead is you say, I was wrong. I did fail. I did not do what I was supposed to do. I fell short of my goal. And this is what I'm going to do to change that. This is what I'm going to do to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. This is how I'm going to improve. Because when you make excuses or when you draw moral equivalence, does that help you grow and improve and become more productive as a person? Or does it just give you quick cover? That just gives you a little bit of cover real quick and it does nothing but, essentially help you hide from the responsibility. Don't do it. Don't accept it from others. Beware of the moral equivalent trap. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of the Morning Mindset audience. I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate the fact that many of you out there are sharing this show with other people. That is very cool. That you have left reviews on your favorite podcast app, whatever that happens to be. And if you would like even more in-depth instruction, go to Amazon.com and pick up the new book, Morning Mindset, a 30-day plan to a more positive and productive life. It's available right now. It's prime shipping, so pick one up today. I'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markle, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.